everybody, welcome back to the Nerdy Adventures of Dell. I am Dell, and today I'm behind the camera once again for this exclusive behind the scenes YouTube customization process episode. And this is how I customize my action figures. With that said, all of my characters are original concepts that I come up with myself. I do not like to customize real life characters or like actual characters that are already done, simply because I like to explore my own creativity and make my own characters. It's just, my interest, my style. I suppose maybe one day I might do a real character that's already made, but yeah, for now I'm just doing my own characters. This is going to be a character that I started a while ago. She is going to be a somewhat dentist or something revolving around teeth, maybe a dental demon or something, I don't know. We shall see, and you shall see later. I suppose I'll know before you. But with all that said, let's get into it. I'm going to mix up, off camera I mixed up some paint in a bottle instead of keeping it in that little paint palette that I had. Only because the paint palette is far easier to waste the paint than the bottle. The bottle will keep it good longer, pardon me. And on the last episode I painted this hip and joint piece. As you can see, it is purple. And I don't know if it transfers over to the video, but it should shimmer a little bit because it is a bit sparkly. Anyways, I'm not meaning to make fun of anybody there or anybody's preference or group. It's just a joke. I meant nothing ill will by it. I'm just having fun. Trying to figure out where I want to start. I think I'm going to save the head sculpt for last, only because there's a lot that I'm thinking I'm going to do with it, which you shall see later. I'm probably not going to say until a later video. Pardon me, goodness gracious, I have the hiccups and the... Yeah, anyways, get into it, Dell, get into it. This is the Nerdy Adventures of Dell, and I am a nerd. So this is why I do nerdy things on my channel, because I am a nerd. And I am Dell. First things first, I don't know if you could see, but the color is like a silverish purple. Yeah. So I shall get into it. I shall hopefully finish this piece today. It doesn't need much more. I just need to do a slight coat over the rest of the hip. As you can hopefully see, I don't want to do it too far over the table. I'm just going to do it like that. And that's it for that piece. And this here. This here. Dip it back in the paint. It's very simple to do this part. And I put the tape on the hip to prevent the paint getting on the clothes, because once again, if you've watched the previous episodes of this series, I am going to try to use the original Dr. Britt Baker DMD AEW Unmatched figure clothing to create a very own unique original concept character around that clothing. So basically what I'm doing is creating an original to me concept character out of the clothing. It's not going to be a Britt Baker repaint. It's actually going to be my own character. that I am customizing and creating out of my imagination. Pretty much. Crud. I should have painted that. But I accidentally, if you can't see what I'm doing, I shall try to show you in a second. Once I get paint on it, because I need this part to be somewhat painted, because it will be visible with the leg on. But basically inside of that hip joint, inside here, is going to be somewhat visible when the leg is on, so I need it to be the custom purple that I came up with. Unfortunately, Naughty Dell, me basically, made a blunder and accidentally taped off that part. So I'm going to have to do some layers of purple on there to mask the original skin tone of Dr. Britt Baker, which I do not want. She is not going to be Dr. Britt Baker. She's going to be a mystery character, because I honestly don't even know the name of the character yet. I haven't come up with the finalized name. And this is going to be a pre-recorded video. I hope this whole video isn't painting this darn blunder that I made. So, yeah. I'm going to leave it for now. Work on these. The legs need to be worked on. And what I did with the paint to put it in the bottle is I actually put a pouring medium in with it. It's a custom pouring medium that I came up with. I'm sure there's other people that make pouring mediums too, but I've never heard of it being used to customize an action figure before. So we shall see how well it works. So far so good though. It's making the paint nice and thin, which is what I need, because I want the paint to go on more evenly. And this is going to take multiple coats, I am well aware. I may actually finish, if I don't finish the legs today in this video, I may go out off camera and finish them, just so it's not like several videos of me working on her legs. That would be really boring. Oh, what's Nerdy Dell doing today with the... Oh, painting the legs again. Alright, I'll click off the video. No, I don't want that. I want you to enjoy the process and learn something new every time. And see something new every time. So, with that said, I'm going to stop with that leg. So that's a nice coat. And then it's probably going to need one more coat off camera for that leg. Then I'm going to add another coat with this. Hopefully I'm doing this okay and you guys can understand what I'm doing and see what I'm doing. But I think I need to bring it closer to the camera. Bear with me, y'all. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I apologize if it's hard to see, but I'm trying to find a fine line of what I can see and what you can see. This also needs to be painted purple. Dell, it really does. Even though it's probably not going to be seen much, it still needs to be covered. Even though I'm not going to sell her to the highest bidder. She's staying in my personal collection because that's typically what I like to do with my customs. I don't like to sell them. Let's try to finish the hip piece. The waist and torso piece. Hopefully you can see the color is purple. It's like a sparkly purple, shimmery sparkly purple. And as you can see, it's just basically sitting on a Q-tip that I have added some extra cotton to because the Q-tip itself was too thin and the torso was falling completely through. Off, I should say. And I don't want that. I want to be able to hold the torso up without touching it with my fingers, because the fingers will leave oil onto the plastic, and I don't want that. I want it to be able to go on and stay on smoothly, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Hopefully y'all can follow what I'm saying, because I am trying to interact with you guys and focus on what I'm doing at the same time, which is not easy for Dell to do. I'm not very good at multitasking, to be perfectly transparent. But yeah, I'm liking this coat, so I may just leave it for now and set it back on here. Basically that part's done. I'm gonna wipe off the brush a little bit, because I do need to clean it in between coats and stuff like that. And by the way, don't freak out about me ruining this towel. It's an old towel that I've had for years. Yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the upper body. First episode, working on the upper body. Yay! Trying to think of where I want to start. Let's start on the back. The back is a broader surface, so I think I just want to start with that. Trying to get a good shot of me working on the back and applying color to the back of the figure. Oof. And I hope I'm not painting over the clothes, because that is going against my own rules for this figure. And yeah, might as well get a little bit on the shoulder. It doesn't matter, it needs to be painted anyways. Go around the front a little bit. Get some on the neck. Like I've said in a previous video, if you have any tips, pro tips, constructive criticism for me, that part doesn't really need to be painted, but this part does. Pro tips are always encouraged and welcome. If you want to bash on me, however, it's not really going to go over well for anybody, really, because there's not really any point in bashing people. I'm learning along with you guys, hopefully. Hopefully you guys are learning something. If nothing else, hopefully you're learning the wrong, what not to do. And I don't like to say that, but it's a reality. I'm not a professional here. I'm just showing and documenting how I personally do it. What makes sense for me may not make sense for anybody else. Or someone else. I don't know. Hopefully I'm communicating it right, but I am, like I said, distracted with what I'm doing. May have to shake the bottle up and get more paint in the lid. Ooh, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. And I am trying to get even coverage, so I need to stop working on the back so much and transition towards the front. In this part, the neck part isn't super necessary to cover, it's just better to, because the back of the neck is going to be covered by her hair anyways, so I guess it's not super important. I still, being OCD, like to get it done that way, just so it doesn't look completely trash and garbage when I'm done, because you never know. This figure could end up being bought after I'm gone, so to speak. Let's see. Oof, some of this paint, the primer rubbed off from under her arm, so that's no bueno. Do 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 do. Sorry, Nerdy Dell is trying to distract himself and get into the music while I paint. So if you guys can see, her skin is taking, her skin tone is taking shape. Right before your very eyes. Just kidding. Kind of, but not really. Rudy Dell, you need to slow down and be calm. Don't make Grandpa Dell beat you with a wet noodle. Just kidding, I don't encourage beating people. That's not cool. Let's all just get along here. We're all human beings on this planet. Let's do our best to work together and get along. I know it's a impossible thing to expect or want, but it would be nice to have more cooperation amongst everybody. Really, I'm getting anxious, so I need to breathe. Breathe. This is going to be really hard. I may end up creating an arm sleeve or some sort of arm accessory for her. Only because I really doubt that the skin tone the paint is going to stay within that joint. Even though the paint is thinned, it's probably going to end up rubbing off eventually. Or maybe right away, who knows. Ooh, that's a darker purple. I did kind of want to possibly get her skin tone to be more of an undulating purplish color. So that may be a blessing in disguise. Happy accident like Bob Ross, y'all. Nerdy Dell, you did a happy accident. Calm down. Just kidding. Not really again. Kidding, but not really kidding. And like I said, I used a pouring medium for this color to thin it out a little bit. I don't like how thick it's going on right now. I need to kind of wet the brush, dry the brush just a little bit, and go back over so it can thin out the paint, because you don't want the paint to be thick and gloppy, because then it will not cover evenly. I hope that makes sense of what I'm trying to explain. Let me see if I can find a good example of, see right here how it's all thick and splotchy, and then right here it's more thin. I'm learning to get it more like this, thin, because that way it can cover evenly better, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. But I do have trouble explaining things sometimes, especially when I'm excited or overstimulated or anxious, like I am right now, anxious. But I need to get the paint evenly coated and then let it dry a little bit and then do another even coat. Okay, so right here it's too thick. I need to kind of thin it out just a little bit. Make the paint coat thinner. And like I said, I might go ahead and make her like an arm accessory, or use like a elbow pad or something to customize her arms and hide some of the inevitable paint peeling off or scraped off process that's bound to happen with this figure, since I'm probably not taking it apart like I should. I took it apart minimally, and only because I've never really taken off the Jazzwares arms right here, and I didn't realize that I should until after it was already primed, which I probably still should have done. I'm gonna go over here. Doing too many at once. Need to paint this part. Hopefully I'm not bumbling this whole process for you guys. Hopefully this is still somewhat educational on how you should do it. If nothing else, like I said, you can learn. At the very worst case scenario, you can learn what not to do. Like, for example, you should not paint it with the shoulder attached to the arm. Ideally, I should have taken these pegs out and the elbow out and painted the whole thing separate. Obviously, this part has to stay in unless I crack open the torso, but still. That would be probably the best way to do it, is just to crack open the torso and paint everything, start to finish, in pieces. That'll probably be the best solution going forward for myself and for you guys. Crack the torsos. There, that's covering better. Except for right there in that crevice, it's kind of gloppy, don't want that. I need to, well, you know what, I kind of do need it bent a little bit so I can get in here. See right, oof. See right here how his skin tone's showing? I hope you can see that. Oh, there's some skin tone showing. Hopefully you can see it. If you can't, there's skin tone showing right here. And that's because the joint scraped off the primer. And I don't like that. It's bugging my OCD really, really bad. And there's no other way for me to fix it other than to hide it when I'm done. Or, once I'm done, take it apart and redo it. But then again, that's kind of... I don't want to do that, to be honest. I'm going to be stubborn and not do that. So I'm going to try my best to get it as best as I can now. And I'm getting anxious. I need to... Okay. Put down the torso. Got it good enough for now. Work on the leg more. Del. Come on. Because I'm hoping to get most of the bottom section of the body done. So mainly the legs. And as I go, I'm coming up with different ideas to do. So yeah, it's not even going to be a solid purple. It really won't be. Because I'm having certain ideas that I want to try and mimic from a comic book character. Basically, like I said in the last episode, it's going to be like... I think I said it in the last episode. If I didn't, I'm going to say it again. It's going to be kind of like a cross between a Majin and a symbiote from Marvel. So a Majin from Dragon Ball crossed with the symbiote from Marvel is the hopeful outcome of this figure. That's what I'm hoping I can achieve. But if not, I'm still going to roll with what I have done. And I think that's a pretty good coat. Wait. Make it more even there. More even here. Because I don't want gloppy streaks. Pardon me. I think that's good for that one. I have... I don't know if you can tell, but under here, there is a gap. And that's why I lean them on top of this metal piece here, these metal tweezers. Because I don't want the wet paint touching the paper. That's no bueno. So I think I'm just going to finish this quick coat and call it for this episode. And hope it's not taking too long. Because these episodes tend to be pretty large file sizes. And I don't want them to be too long or too large of a file size. So I think I'm just going to finish this leg and call it. This leg is these legs are pretty much 95% done at this point with the base coat of skin tone. Oops, never mind. Nerdy Dell lied with that one. See if I can lightly go over it and fix it. Nope. See. Nope. I may have to finish the rest of this off camera, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to finish the legs off camera anyways, like I said earlier. But yeah, it's mostly done. And it's inevitable too, when I go to move this crease right here, it's gonna peel off a little bit of paint, which I am gonna have to touch up in the finishing process. But I will do that part off camera. I'm gonna God, my mind went blank. I am gonna seal it with a sealant before. I might do that off camera, only because that's kind of boring. Oh, what's Nerdy Dell doing? Oh, he's applying sealant to the figure. That's real fun to watch. Yeah, let's not. No. Like when it gets closer to the process and after these videos are uploaded, if you want to see what I use, which honestly is just clear nail polish coat for the most part. Sometimes I use something else, but for the most part I use clear nail polish top coat to seal my figures. It's it hardens the paint because it is acrylic paint. It's not hobby paint or anything like that, because honestly I already use acrylic paint, so I might as well use it for my figures, I guess. I don't know, it's just me. Anyways, with all that said and that leg done, that has been this episode of Behind the Scenes Customizing the Figure. I hope you are at least enjoying this process and getting some insight to how and what I do to customize my figures. If you have any pro tips, please leave them down in the comments. I'm more than willing to be schooled on it, as long as it's not bashing. Bashing is not cool. I wouldn't bash any of you, so I would appreciate it if y'all don't bash me. With all that said though, and the somewhat seriousness out of the way, I hope y'all are having a great day, evening, or night. Take care and peace out, y'all.